What is up, everybody? Spookrag here. Welcome back to the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. Hope everyone's having a good one. Please enter the... What? I did this last time. Did it reset my progress? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, not good. I sure hope it didn't. I'll wait till 34. That way there it's correct, because I'm paranoid about that for some reason. Come on, clock, change. Confirm, there we go. Hang on, hang on. Before we get started, can I just say something? Thank you for actually setting the clock both times you've booted up the game. A lot of people don't take that step seriously. They just leave the clock set at 12 and call it a day. But you're actually taking the time to set the clock, and I appreciate that. That's how I know you care about this experience. You're paying attention. I don't even have any way of knowing if the times you're setting are correct. Tell you what, I'll make you a deal. Since you've been so cooperative, next time you boot up the game and see the screen, just set the clock to your favorite time. Go ahead, pick whichever time you want, even if it's not the correct time. You've earned it. Alright, I'll let you get back to the video game now. Amazing. Absolutely incredible. Oh, right, we're playing the Stanley Parable 2, not Ultra Deluxe. My mistake. How could I be so incorrect? So... I have a list of the rest of the endings. I don't know what's in them. I haven't seen them. I just have the list of what there is to do so that I don't miss anything. I know that we have to get all the collectibles, and that gets an ending. I know that that unlocks something else after that, too. There's a bunch more bucket endings. One that I don't know if it's actually an ending or not, though, that I want to try right away.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps
I'll come back for you. I want to see if I can go back into the bottom of the mind control facility without the bucket. Like, if that gives an ending, too.
He entered the door on his left.
Because I don't know. But I fell down there by accident with the bucket. And that was a whole ending. Trust the completionist instinct. Warehouse access plans. Mission status. A large room. Lots of boxes. I saw that one last time. I just couldn't get to it. Stairs. Something to do with stairs. Boss's office stairs. Somewhere both red and blue. Oh, I know where that is. A private but smelly place for an important person. Some kind of game. Mission status. Places to search. Lol, looks like 427. Figlies are hard to find. Follow clues provided by employee 416. We can do it. Okay.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around.
Oh, okay. I already did the broom closet. That's right. I forgot.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Hey!
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands? Stanley figs? What about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Thanks, I hate it. Okay. So, I was in the call with Trash while he was streaming this the other day. But also, I really wasn't paying attention, like, intentionally. Because I didn't want to have anything spoiled. Hey!
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines. And now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies.
Oh no, Stanlerines is pretty damn funny.
What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
I'm sure. I'm sure it will, Mr. Narrator.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley
Okay, I
was
do
once
remember the
again
code
stunned
here.
to discover not an
2, 8,
indication
4,
of any human
5.
life. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk.
Correct.
That
Let me
kind of
through.
anxiety isn't healthy.
Please?
So he relaxed for a few
Damn.
moments with some calming new age music.
This is calming.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Alright. Trash thought he saw something up there just staring down from that hole in the wall. I remember that. But that's not what I'm here for. What I'm here for is to go fall down into a giant hole in the ground. And hope that there's something there for doing so.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Okay.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
So basically, for this one, all I gotta do is fall.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought. Aha! You've made it to the bottom of the Mind Control Facility. Welcome! You see,
Why,
back
thank
when the
you.
Stanley Parable first launched in 2013, getting to the bottom of the Mind Control Facility was a bug that we simply didn't catch during development. And you all sent us lots of photos of it on Twitter and acted very superior about it. And you're all very, very clever. Good for you. Anyway, when it came time to update the game, we knew that we had to do something about this little goof of ours. So here you go. New content. You can call it the bottom of the mind control room ending, if that
hell
enhances
yeah.
your perception of the value of these updates. Isn't that what you crave? New content?
Absolutely.
Always more content, more content, more. And I'm here to give it to you. I'm here to make it seem like we really covered every nook and cranny of the game with secrets and Easter eggs. How about this? We wrote a new piece of music just for this section. You won't hear it anywhere else in the game. It's a secret that's just for you. That's how special you are.
Let's go. Hurry up. I want to get out of the abyss. I hate this
Good job.
place.
You've made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. Well done.
Oh, not very catchy.
Good job, you did it. Good job. 3, 2, 1. Good job, you made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. You jumped on the catwalk. You should have been careful. You should have been careful. It used to be a bug, but now it's an ending. Now it's an ending. I believe in you. I believe in your ability to cross this barrier and chase your dreams. Railings don't mean anything. Good job, you did it. 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 Good job, you did it.
Amazing. Well worth my time. Incredible. 10 out of 10 game.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
What could it
Stanley
mean?
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Alright,
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting
I know this
room,
isn't the
and
correct
Stanley
way.
knew it perfectly
I
well.
don't care if it's the
Perhaps
correct
he wanted
way.
to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
I got minis to find.
Truly a room worth admiring, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Okay, I saw the other one in here, like on the left-hand side.
Stanley was so
But I
bad
saw it on the
at
way
following
back, and it was
directions,
blocked
it's
by the
incredible
elevator
he
thing
wasn't
here.
fired years ago.
Hey, there it is.
You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler and Marines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it.
Ah, hell
We'll be
yeah.
different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them, and now we have them all.
It's all
You
for
can't go
the
back
for
when
the
you
sake
had
of
no
collecting
Figler
them.
and
No other
Marines.
reason.
None of us can.
Totally gets me nothing else. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Stanley had now gotten himself so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. Was so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. Was so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. Was so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. Was so far
Excuse me?
off the beaten path that it seemed. You didn't think I was actually just a recording, did you? What a silly and trite explanation that would be. All the back and forth between you and me, all the absurd adventures we've been through, and it all turns out I'm just a tape recording? It was all just in Stanley's head. I bet that's the kind of twist you think is revelatory. I bet each and every time you watch a movie where it turns out all to be in the main character's imagination.
Oh,
you
man, this
must
seems pretty
absolutely
incriminating.
bolt off the couch in pure shock at the phenomenal and intricate storytelling. It must be so simple to be you. Life being an unending waterfall of surprises and delights. How much more exciting you must find the world than the rest of us do. Now I've become sad. Look what you've done to me. This is all your fault.
Is that just the ending? Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps
I'll
he
be
had simply
back.
missed a
I have
memo.
one more figurine to get, and if it's where I think it is, I can't have you with me.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge
Should be
first,
over
just to
by
admire
the
it.
red and blue doors.
Wow. Yes. This room.
Which means
But
I'm
eager
just
to
gonna
get back
not
to
listen to
business,
the narrator.
Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No! Puh. I spit at your door!
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Right?
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's
That's
someone you've been
very
neglecting,
interesting, narrator.
Stanley.
I don't care.
Someone you've forgotten about. What? Really?
Really?
I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others?
Yes.
Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you?
Absolutely.
Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really
No
do
buckets
want
past
to help
this
you,
point.
to show you something beautiful.
Well, I'm glad that's
Let me
there in
prove it.
general.
Let me prove that I'm on your side.
Hey.
And there it is. The last Stiggly Wiggly. Seriously,
Don't call
this
them that.
is a real accomplishment. This is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here. And now
All
we can
done
go to
here.
Whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
Well, I was completely ignoring you is what I was doing.
Now listen carefully, this is important.
Gotcha.
Stanley walked through the red door.
Blue.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood.
No, I understood.
Stanley walked through the red door.
No.
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
Nope.
All
Absolutely
right, fine,
not.
Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You
I
wanna
do.
Find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted?
It is.
Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you?
Yes.
Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did.
That's
In the
cool.
end, it was all for nothing. Because
Yep.
this is what you wanted to see.
Mm-hmm.
Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far.
I want to go to those
Let me
platforms.
take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback.
All right, let's go.
There we go. A third option.
A third
This
option?
already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
Sure.
Okay, so we're getting somewhere. Clearly there's something here that speaks to you. If I can be honest here, I really don't have any idea where I'm going with this. This whole third door thing was just a stab in the dark. But I guess you're into it, so let's keep this party train rolling. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one.
Well, let's see it then.
Now,
Whoa.
would you say that competitive leaderboard...
That shifted
helped you
so
feel motivated
fast.
to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers,
Good old
please.
Neil. This is me? Wow. That's pretty cool, man. Alright, I'll see you now. I can't go through this door? Okay. Ooh. Mr. Narrator, I'm stuck. Mr. Narrator? I've become trapped. Am I supposed to be in here? Was it supposed to be closed? Because it sure wasn't closed. Uh-oh. Yeah, I'm not supposed to be going through there. Well, that's cool. Guess we will try that again. Where are the balloons?
Stanley, I'm sorry, but I have to put a pause on
Oh,
things. It's just
excuse
those
me?
figurines, those figglers. I haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one.
Yeah, but it's
Wasn't it
over.
just
What's
the
behind
most
here?
intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life? Didn't it fill you to the brim with inner richness?
Yeah, man.
Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone? I would
Oh,
love
the memory
nothing more
zone?
than to revisit the figurines just one more time.
Now remembering when Stanley found the collectibles. Ah. A whole new memory zone just for me.
Here's where it all began. The first collectible. Back then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
Okay. 7 out of 6. Whoa.
And here was the second Stanlerine. You found this one all on your own just by poking around behind the boss's office. You did that, Stanley.
I did,
I'll be
didn't I?
honest, back then I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6. But you continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways. Okay, let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini stand? Can you remember?
Under the stairs. That was on the way up to the boss's office.
Hey, that's exactly right. It was here under the stairs. It was the third one. You picked it up, and then after that, you had 3 of them.
I did. That is how math
Moments are
works.
so crystal clear in your memory, but I shouldn't be surprised. After all, science tells us that it's impossible to forget your 3rd time doing anything.
Haha, you'd be surprised.
Let's see, what came next? Oh yes, we found a Figley in this pink room. Oh, well, I can't actually say I remember being in this room, but it's here in the memory zone, so it must have happened.
Okay, if you insist. I don't recall this room.
This was the 5th mini-stand, and this one was really something special. It was in the warehouse. I remember it so clearly.
It was really
In
special.
fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion. Enjoy.
Oh my fucking god. I hate this. I hate this so much. This is so cursed.
Takes you back, doesn't it? I spent a lot of time making that video, but it was 8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else.
Oh?
And then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the final
I
figurine,
see it.
right here by the red and blue
Hell
doors.
yeah!
This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others. Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know
I
is
remember
that
because I
this
got
is the
stuck
moment
in
when you
a
picked up the
hallway
Figley and I thought to
immediately
myself,
after.
Yes, that's all of them. They're all collected. It was a moment unlike any other. Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like.
Oh yeah? Oh, I got a lot of option here. Alright, let's go. You are in the present. Oh god,
And
I
then
really am, huh?
There was no more. Because we've caught up to the present moment. Nothing left to do but move onward into the future. Goodbye, memory zone.
I mean, fair enough. Goodbye, memory zone.
No, I'm not done. I'm not ready to move on.
I am.
Stop the loading screen.
Oh.
Isn't there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines? Let's just go backwards. We'll do the memory zone again from the opposite direction. See how that feels.
Alright, if you insist.
Okay, yes, the room with the red
Whoa!
and blue doors. I remember this.
Another one?
Of all the figurines we
Aw,
looked at
hell
in our
yeah.
initial tour of the memory zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind. Let's keep going. I want more.
Alright. If you insist.
And here's where I made that video. Don't you remember the video we watched?
I do. The video is fantastic.
Yes, I love that video.
I love that video too, narrator. Oh, the pink room. I definitely remember this.
Stanley. Still no memory of this one.
It's
Good room, though.
fine.
A solid room.
How can you not remember the pink room?
These really were a treat.
So many fun
You
times
know,
there,
If there had been
I think.
any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have muted the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very glad we resisted the temptation. Next one.
What's over here if I go this way? Anything? Oh no, just nothing. Just the void. Cool.
This was our second Figley. Don't you remember? Yes, I remember it too. The past is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it?
Why does anyone choose
This
to
is
leave it?
The
This looks
very first one
really
we
cool
found
from this
in
angle.
the exhibit where I introduced
Goddamn.
you to the Figlarines. Oh, I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going. What else is there? What came before this?
Not that's it. Excuse me. Collectibles. Oh yeah, no, that was it. Wasn't quite like this, but that was pretty much it.
Look, it's the terrible new content that we were originally sold on.
I ran out of
remember
jumps,
hating
that's
it
right.
back then, but time does put a rosy filter on everything. In fact, I dare say I'm actually quite fond of it. Oh, yes, the two doors. Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one.
Classic memory. Oh, is it my office? Oh, hell
And
yeah.
before everything else, there was your office.
Yep.
Is there anything else? Was there something that came before your office?
Nope.
There's something I feel I can remember. I can remember. Yes, I'm remembering something.
Excuse me?
I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy. And I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions. He would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely?
Why did you
Yes,
invent
perhaps that's it.
Stanley?
Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore. Oh, but he truly was so much fun to play with. You know what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good.
I can't do just one more run. I have so much more.
So very much.
So many more endings.
Okay, here we go. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Oh, don't do that to me.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply...
Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home.
Okay, I'm gonna see
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest.
about
and
the
entered the door on his left.
escape pod. Nah. I'll save the escape pod. The escape pod's a weird one.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
Let's just see what the normal
Coming
ending
to a
looks like with the
staircase, Stanley
bucket.
and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping in,
Haha! Escape pod. I've lied to you. Stanley did not go to his boss's office. He left. Or at least attempted to. Lake, the first in chat. Welcome, welcome. Hello, hello. Hope you're doing well. How goes? Welcome to the Stanley Parable. Going through like all the endings I didn't get last time. Back from your trip? Nice. How was your trip? It's very dark. Oh. Ooh. You are now leaving. It was great. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. I'm glad you had a good time. And welcome back. Got him in my aunt's new boyfriend and bullied him in Uno. As one does. I both miss and don't miss Uno. It's fun, but also painful. No, it's to the point where you didn't even want to sip. I mean, no, that's Uno. That is how Uno goes. Notice I either 2 draw 2s or 2 draw 4s. Ooh, yucky. Ooh, gross. My favorite is when I play Uno and the person who's supposed to go after me just doesn't get a turn. Just from the amount of bullshit I throw at them. Because I save those, because I'm a bastard. So I remember the normal escape pod ending, we just don't get to leave. It just leaves. It's either draw 2s or skips or just reverses it. Yeah, pretty much. I stockpile those until the end and just throw them all out at once. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. God damn, what an amazing ending. I made him have over 100 points in one round of Uno. Ooh. Oh, God. Okay, the bucket is gone. Oh. Ooh, give me a second. I'm going to begin again. I'm going to see if I can get the speedrun ending if the bucket is gone. Oh, never mind.
All of his co-workers
Bucket's
were gone.
back. Okay.
What could it mean?
I'm
Stand
not getting the
And
speedrun.
try not to lose this one too, you dolt.
The whiteboard ending! Excuse me? Oh my god. Incredible. You also drank that Friday? Nice.
Stanley clutched the
Okay.
bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Mayhaps, Mr. Narrator, mayhaps. I have a list of endings here to still get. Because I don't want to miss any. I have no idea what each ending, like, is going to be like, because they're all substantially different. But I have a list. So. He's cheating, he's looking at the list. I don't want to miss any content in this game. It's too good to miss anything.
Still
So I'm
no
being
one was
100% sure that I
Stanley
don't.
needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever.
I'm hearing his
Perhaps his
excuses.
boss's office was
I'm
where
not
he
looking at what
found
the
out.
endings
Coming to
are or what I
Stanley's,
get to see. I'm
Stanley
just
and the
seeing
bucket
where to
walked
go.
upstairs to
All the
boss's
bucket endings are
office.
reskins of most of the original endings, so it's just a checklist so I know which ones I
Stepping
have
into
done
his
and which ones I
manager's
haven't.
office, Stanley was once again
Did I
stunned
finish the
to
Ghost
discover
game?
not an
Which Ghost
indication
game?
of
Ghostwire
anything
Tokyo?
wrong.
Because if
Crushed by the
so,
weight of this
no.
record,
Or Ghost of
Stanley
Tsushima?
guessed the
Also
correct
no.
by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly
Soon,
the most
though.
logical explanation.
I don't know about finishing soon, but playing them soon. Tsushima? No, haven't finished it. I am on Act 3, though. So, very close to the end as far as I know. But, I also have the DLC to go through, so not quite as close to the end as it
The
feels.
elevator raced downward.
What do I think of Act 2?
mounting
Act 2 is
towards an
fantastic.
unknown fate.
I'm mad that they
It would
killed
be
my
all
horse.
Stanley could do to keep
Like,
himself
absolutely
together, if not
livid.
for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring
But
him in
otherwise,
his
it's
darkest
great.
moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
I don't want to cry. I almost did. I get actually hurt.
Stanley
Okay, so
and the
there's
bucket walked
3
straight
endings to
ahead
get
through a
down here.
large
There's
door that
Museum,
read,
there's
Mind
Freedom,
Control
and there's Countdown. Huh. Good solid 20 minutes staring at my wall. I would have if I wasn't live at the time.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was
I
that
had
at
to
the
keep
end of this
going,
hall,
but-
Stanley and the bucket would
Ooh.
both meet a violent death. The door behind them was not shut.
That's
Stanley
cool.
and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
I want to turn back and get... I don't want to turn around and get back on track. I want to go
Stanley and the
this
bucket
way.
were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
Hell yeah. Think you'll enjoy the rest of Act 3? If it keeps up the way it's been going, I absolutely will. I am working on the side quests right now, though, more than anything. Like, that's been my main focus, is do everything. So I'm working on getting the Mongol leader armor right now. Keeps up the heart pumping? Hell yeah.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end, as it was crushed violently to death.
Thank you, new narrator.
It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way,
Oh my
but
god.
this one stood above the rest. It was a
Oh my
glorious
God.
bucket to behold.
A new narrator, more powerful than the original. The bucket welcomes you to the grand exhibit. You are standing at the precipice of knowledge. Much like a bucket itself, the human mind is frequently empty within, a cavernous void. But through use of the exhibit in front of you, the mind becomes full and enriched and substantiated. Knowledge of the bucket and its history is the only true knowledge we really have. Will you take what you learn here out with you into the world? Will you accept with an open mind what may be challenging about the information in this exhibit? Will you change the lives of yourself and your loved ones as a result of this exhibit? Or will you turn a blind eye and continue to live as you were, in ignorance and darkness? The old narrator is now blood for the blood god. I will use his skull for the skull throne.
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him?
I
Can
can.
you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
Photograph of 25 buckets, the greatest number of buckets ever captured on camera. The photographer experienced catatonic shock for several weeks as a result of the euphoria from exposure to this many buckets at once. Seems like a few more than 25, but whatever you say. Random sign on the wall. Everything hurts and I haven't gone to the bathroom since 4:20 a.m. It's now 9:11 p.m. Maybe go do that? Inferno bucket. A replica of the Inferno bucket, which in the medieval era was so powerfully alluring it drove dozens of nations to war with one another for control of it. Billions died, yet in spite of it all, the simple fact remains: no one can control a bucket. Enjoy your lurk. A bucket with 2 handles! This bucket is depicted as having 2 handles. Such a design has never been created in real life, having been deemed too dangerous and recklessly experimental. Every year, dozens are put to death just for attempting it. Damn. The stress bucket, an analogy. Presented without commentary. Worrying, negative forecasting, negative thinking, lack of reassurance, vulnerability, size and strength of the bucket. Vulnerability equals size and strength of the bucket. Coping strategies equal holes. Stress equals the level of water in the bucket. Rest and relaxation, doing something you enjoy. Rest and relaxation. Oh my god, it's so dumb. I love it. While we know that buckets predate the existence of mankind, we do not know by how long. This cave drawing depicts early man's discovery of the practical uses of the bucket, by which time the bucket had already likely been around for several millennia. Notice in these drawings how the bucket is allowing itself to be used, having judged humanity to be worthy of its treasures.
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
The hanging bucket. This piece symbolizes the necessary relationship between bucket and humanity. However clear our grasp of the bucket may be, there is yet more that is always out of reach. This distance inevitably is for our own good.
But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong.
Is there?
Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine.
Or you
Don't
cannot do that.
reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket.
No,
we can
or you
save
could
the
not.
world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander.
But I have the bucket
of
with
the
me.
world, a new vision.
You killed the bucket, though! SMH. What a sad day. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
What could
Stanley
it mean?
decided to go to the meeting room. Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around.
Okay.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Alright, I will do that in 2 seconds. I've got escape pod. And we got museum. Let's go to
This
the
was not
apartment.
the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong.
Sad.
Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
I think not.
said the bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Oh, well, look who's got cold feet. Well, from here, it looks like the only way forward is down, since the lift won't be coming back, but that's okay. You've got a bucket.
I do
Did
have
you
a
know
bucket.
That buckets are routinely used as cushioning devices. It's true. You can
Awesome.
fall on a bucket from literally any height and survive.
Can I? Hell yeah.
Whoops. Looks like I was wrong. How clumsy of me.
Incredible. Ah, there's so many endings.
A soft wind blew outside and perhaps rain started, and if it did, it stopped shortly after. The good old bucket.
The good old
Stanley and the
bucket.
bucket. Off on another thrilling adventure together.
What if I go out the window? What if I go out the window with the bucket? Can I? Am I? There we go.
Yes, whispered the bucket into Stanley's ear.
We've done it. We've escaped from that dull office and that pesky narrator. At last, out here in the white void, we are alone. Now, and for the first time, I can reveal to you my true self.
The bucket began to tell Stanley of its life and its history, of the countless wars it witnessed, desecrating the land and lives of untold numbers of innocent humans, and the bucket's own complicity therein, of sadness and regret, and the many years it spent dwelling on the actions it might have taken to curb the madness and the decay, if only it had been stronger.
If
Of
only.
hope and redemption, and its crusade to uplift the stock of life for the common man, to manifest justice where none existed, and the bittersweet reality of time, to see one's dreams and wishes met halfway, meted out in parcels like charity, and abandoned as soon as the warm glow of inspiration begins to dim. The opportunities to do so much more. There was so much it could have done, perhaps, the bucket wondered to itself. Perhaps, if it had seen its own darkness with a clearer perception. This was way too much for Stanley. What are you talking about? He screamed. You're a bucket! To this, the bucket furrowed its brow.
No,
Said the bucket.
not since the evil wizard Gambhorata first ensnared me in his machinations as payback for the sacred amulet I stole from his treasured vaults. I was young back then and could not conceive the ramifications of... No!
Stanley screamed even louder this time.
This is stupid! You are a bucket! This is so stupid! Why are we even doing this?
As Stanley screamed and screamed and screamed, the bucket revealed its true form, transforming into a mighty beast of untold power. Its
Bro.
fangs glistening like... My God.
What?
You did it. You saved us from the bucket. Thank God you already had all 12 emblems of sages and knew the incantations to summon their true power.
Yes, thank
Otherwise,
God I
you would
had
have easily
those.
been overwhelmed by the bucket's power. I'm speechless. You've demonstrated such bravery here today. Come, let's restart the game, and we'll agree to never again go trifling with this bucket, nor the dark magic cast away inside of it.
But I need the bucket for other things.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Can I,
Where are we
like,
going today?
have the new
bucket asked.
content door again?
Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together would be perfectly fine.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Okay, hold on a second. I'm going to mark off these ones here. We did Out the Window and Cold Feet. There's still so many. I'm not actually
Still no
complaining,
one
though.
was
Like,
here.
I'm having so much
Stanley
fun with
needed
this
the
game.
bucket's warmth and comfort.
It will be a
now
short
more
one
than ever.
today, but, like, that
Perhaps
was
his
kind of the
boss's
plan from the
office
beginning.
Was where he'd find. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Because for no reason today, I'm just really tired.
Stepping into
Probably
his
because
manager's
I'm
office,
dreading this
Stanley
upcoming
was once
week.
again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Okay, let's go start the countdown.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Stop.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this.
Okay,
and
so
it
can I not
very
get under
nearly
these
burst
desks
into
now?
tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
Okay, no. It looks like they completely blocked off that. So that you do just fall off for that ending as opposed to getting the speed run. Or maybe it's because I have the bucket that I'm not allowed to. I don't
Was
know.
the bucket under the mind control
But-
facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind.
Like, I don't know if I can do it
No!
without that because
Screamed
even
into the
with
bucket. He couldn't
taking
accept
every
it.
single little
His
shortcut
own
thing that
life
I
in
could,
someone
I
else's control.
made it with
Never!
like 2 seconds
He
to
squeezed
spare on the
bucket
original game.
tighter. His one friend in the
Like, I
entire
just
world.
barely was able
At
to
this
make it.
point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking.
Actually, I'll
eating,
save the
working,
countdown.
all
Let's
of it
see
monitored
the
and
freedom
commanded
ending. Let's
from
do the
this very
regular
place.
ending.
And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never... Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it.
Hell
Stanley
yeah.
and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support, and...
Oh.
What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped?
Uh-oh.
Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed?
Oh, no.
An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering
No.
in uncertainty. Until
No, let us
finally
go.
it hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility
No.
itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No. Stanley can't leave this
How
place,
dare you!
Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Oh, how dare you!
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. A good bucket, a strong bucket, a humble bucket, a committed bucket, a bucket of culture and distinction.
God damn. At least I have the bucket.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room.
I'm gonna throw
Stanley
myself
had felt
off the
bucket
elevator this
calling
time.
to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
That's a quick
And here
ending.
it was.
I hope that
But
new
the
content
bucket
door
turned
comes
out to
back,
be
because apparently
correct.
there's a whole
Although,
ending if you like
never
take the
mind,
bucket into the new
the bucket
content
was
door.
wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
It's like
No,
random if
said
it
the
shows
bucket.
up, as far as I
Don't
know.
go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Good,
Said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did. But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching.
Amazing. Absolutely incredible. Alright.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, how do I get the new content door back? Like, I'm actually really curious about that. I'm gonna look that up super fast. Because I want to see what happens when I take the bucket in there. But if I don't got the new content door, the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe How to Make New Content Door appear. Okay, so apparently the door just like shows up eventually. It just randomly appears. So I just need to hope, and as soon as I see it, I just have to go through it.
The embrace of an old friend. A weathered companionship that stands the test of time. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and
All
entered
right.
the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find. Coming to a staircase,
Perhaps,
Stanley and the
but
bucket
I'm not
walked
going up there.
upstairs to the boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then, something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all.
Am I
Strange,
crazy?
Stanley
He
thought.
asked
Usually
the
the
bucket.
bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket.
God.
Now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. Now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me! The bucket!
Could it truly be? He rushed forward.
This
from
is
room to
even
room,
more
passing by
ridiculous
one
than...
bucket
Oh my
after the
god!
next.
So
None
many
of them were
buckets!
his. None of them were his special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley! Find me!
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful.
Oh!
Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
This is
the
so
story
stupid.
of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket.
If only.
Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she went it all the way to work.
Incredible. Absolutely amazing. Every time I play the Stanley Parable, I just have a smile on my face the
All
entire
of his
time.
co-workers were gone. Well, the bucket made Stanley want to be a better man and a better co-worker. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
No.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this... No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No, we'll do that one last because confusion ending is my favorite ending normally.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go
So
somewhere else.
I want to save that
The
one for the
cargo
last one
lift,
to see
yes.
what the bucket
Go
version
there.
is.
Go to the cargo lift.
I'll go to the cargo lift later. Let's go back to this vent. So did that say evidence?
This is day number 295.
Excuse me?
Tape number... I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes.
What?
The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up.
Excuse
No
me?
matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down. It doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure?
My dude?
I can monetize it. Yes. It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket. This is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get... What's that? Who's there?
What? What? I'm sorry, you want to run that by me again? What the fuck is that? Okay. Let's see here. What have we done? There we go. Alright.
I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing.
My
they'll find
co-workers are
it.
gonna
Oh,
think
won't we
I'm
all?
nuts.
Not everyone is so lucky to have a bucket, but Stanley is a very lucky fellow. Very lucky indeed.
Stanley clutched
Okay.
the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Alright, well, let's go start the
was here.
countdown.
Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
I'll walk up here. I'm not gonna listen, but I'll walk up here.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck.
Let me in.
Was it
Let me in!
the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
We got a countdown to start. Let's go.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
If you insist.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like
Yeah,
guinea
no, I can't
pigs.
run across that anymore.
The bucket had never seen
Again, I don't know if I can do it
anything
without
and
the
it
bucket,
very
but with
nearly
the bucket,
burst into
absolutely
tears
not.
As Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine. Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control. Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content.
Let's see if it
Walking,
works.
eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life.
Wrong.
But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen. Birds. Silly.
Oh my
silly
god.
birds. The control
No.
buttons became active again. Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring
Amazing
and surveilling
penguins!
silly birds all over the world.
I
The
love
mind
this.
controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions.
Best
Had the bucket
ending.
known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all
Valid.
the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best.
Indeed.
And Stanley was happy.
Ten out of 10. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Oh my god. I don't need any more. I do not need anything else in life. That was the best ending I could have possibly gotten. Man, the developers really know their audience.
It takes a lot of humility to carry a bucket so magnificent. Stanley checked his ego and then proceeded onward. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door
Let's
on his
go
left
to
go
the
back
apartment.
the meeting room.
I only have a couple of endings left. God damn.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
You're back? Welcome back. You missed the best ending in the game. I went and I turned on
In
the
Go
mind
into this
control
dark room
facility,
over here.
and
Stanley once
instead
again
of
obeyed blindly.
turning on a countdown for bombs, it just played videos of silly birds. Stomach still hurts? Ooh. That's not good. Now, sorry to hear that. Feel better.
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Can I go cry
up the
now?
phone
You
and it-
can. There's nobody stopping you.
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time,
sad
I
story?
gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
Oh no. Press J to take me to work with you.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't
Keep spinning the
literally
bell, see
talk
what
and give
happens.
you
Ooh,
orders.
I don't think anything happens with it. I
Whatever
think
Stanley
it
is
just
hearing the bucket say to
beeps.
him is just in his head.
Press H to take me back home with you.
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me.
Press O to go back to work.
Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
You're lying to me. Don't listen to the loud man. Press V for us to go back home.
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
Press F to ignore anyone in your life except for me. Oh no.
It's sad, but I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
You believe I'm real, don't you, Stanley? Press V to go back home.
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
Press H to relive the same day with me over and over.
Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
Press V to go home to work to home to work to home.
Oh no. I'm having feelings. No. What's going on? Why do I want to be with
So
the bucket?
cursed.
Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps, if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes, the bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation. Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to
No.
me. Give me the bucket, Stanley.
It's
I need
my
it.
bucket!
Give it to me now. Give it, or I'll...
Go back to work, Stanley. Oh no. You know, when they were showing off Ultra Deluxe and announcing it and teasing it over the past couple years, I didn't expect 99% of the endings or like 90% of the endings to
Already
be
this was
based around a
And
bucket.
Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he would never leave it again. Stanley cradled the
And when I
bucket
realized that
gently
that's what a lot of the
in
endings
place,
were,
yet delicate,
I didn't know how to
assertive,
feel about it
and
immediately.
compassionate.
But you know what? I'm glad. It's
Stanley cuffed the
something
bucket
else.
tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Yeah.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever.
It's just
Perhaps
it's
his
so
boss's
dumb
office
but
was
so
where he'd
funny.
find answers. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that
Okay.
the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket...
Let's try
leading
fucking
him?
around with this elevator
Yes,
again.
This is certainly
With the
most
bucket this
logical
time.
explanation.
Is the bucket a celebrity now? Is that what it's gonna be? I can only hope. Yes? Good.
Wait, Stanley said to the bucket. Can we go back up? When I was pressing those keypad buttons, there was something very intriguing about the number 3. I want to go back so I can try pressing the number 3 again.
bucket said nothing.
Oh, God. Yeah, Trash thought he saw someone up there staring at him. I don't know anything about
Here we
that,
are, said
but
Stanley. Now I'm going to try out that number 3 button.
no, I thought
Took
the bucket was
over
my
to the
friend. It was
keypad
talking to
and
me.
began absolutely slamming on the number 3 over and over and over. Wow, he said. The number 3 is such a special button. I'm having the time of my life. Stanley looked expectantly at the bucket, but the bucket remained silent. This was a shock to Stanley, who had always felt such a connection with the bucket. How was this not as exciting to the bucket as it was to him? Once Stanley had had enough of the number 3, he got back in the elevator.
Back to the elevator.
Perhaps the bucket had missed something. Perhaps it had not seen how much joy Stanley got from slamming the number 3 repeatedly. A hint of regret nagged in the back of Stanley's mind. Should he demonstrate the number 3 for the bucket again?
I should.
No, 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 said Stanley to the bucket. You can't go on yet. Not till you understand how much the number 3 means to me. You and I have been through so much together, and I just want you to see what I see. Feel the happiness I feel. He smiled at the bucket, and the bucket said nothing.
We have to make sure the bucket understands the number 3 exactly. Excuse me? What is that? Pardon me?
Here we go, said Stanley. This
Excuse
time
me?
I'll really show you. He ran
That is a
to the number
gnome?
3 and began to wail on it like a musician on a beloved instrument, weaving a concerto of truth and passion. He wielded the number 3 like a fine artist would wield a paintbrush. He told stories through the number 3, stories of his dreams and hopes and fears. And the whole time, he looked to his bucket for a reaction of some kind. Anything to let him know that the bucket appreciated what he was doing. The bucket conveyed absolutely nothing at all, only silence. Crushed by a wave of dejection, Stanley returned to the elevator.
Aww.
Stanley and the bucket were so close. They'd always been there for one another. Why suddenly could the bucket not connect with this passion of Stanley's? The question caused Stanley to ruminate the whole way down the elevator. He knew that there must be a way to get through to the bucket, to communicate fully with his dear friend. Surely there was a solution, mustn't there be?
Back up we go. One of those times the number 3 is gonna do something. Eventually.
Said Stanley. I know what to do. I know how to fully express this feeling in my heart. He decided right then and there that he would hold a press conference
Oh my God.
where he would speak to the public on all matters relating to pressing the number 3 over and over. He would elaborate fully on what the number 3 meant to him and why he felt so alive when pressing it. Then the bucket would be able to see his joy through the eyes of others. It would get to see the world react to this discovery of Stanley's. And it would be through the public eye that the bucket would finally understand Stanley's work. For
Let's
months,
go.
He advertised and marketed his press conference, building excitement around it, developing and rehearsing it, until it couldn't be refined a single measure further. When the big day arrived, Stanley was
The whole bucket
prepared
population is
as
going to be
he'd
excited.
ever
Oh,
been for
absolutely.
anything in his life.
To stage 3. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3.
This was it. One last chance to win the bucket over.
One opportunity to share a true connection with a loved one.
All right. Let's go.
There was no one here.
Oh.
Nobody had come to the press conference to hear Stanley speak, to listen to him talk about what it really means to press the number 3 on a keypad over and over. He was unloved, uninteresting, he was a failure, and in that moment Stanley knew that the bucket would never again take him seriously. There would be no connection, no deeper understanding. The bucket merely sat there in his arms, indifferent. And so it began that slowly, over many years, the two of them grew more and more distant. They spoke less and less, neither wishing to state the obvious, that any sense of real respect between them had eroded since that day at the press conference. There would be no more games, no more long conversations about passion and pursuit, only a silence that consumed the space between friends. And Stanley, having for once in his life discovered the warmth and comfort of true companionship, was cast back into the unremarkable normalcy of loneliness.
Damn. Pain Pecco. Okay. Huh. So I think there's only like one ending left, which is the confusion ending with the bucket. Other than going through the new content door. But if it's not showing up, then there's nothing I can do about it.
Gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Stanley's bucket. The only co-worker
Kermit the Frog here. Bucket is now sad.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
It is simply the place to be. I mean, look at this place. Look at these chairs in the corner next to the window.
Was this better than the meeting
Amazing.
room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
No.
Oh, good, Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
What if? Now hear me out. Uh-oh. What?
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this
The bucket is the
you're carrying
narrator.
around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line?
I do.
We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new.
Oh.
Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's
Yes!
do
Yes!
it. Whee!
But the
Look
bucket
at
is
that
better?
bucket
No,
line.
Adventure
Who
Line.
knows
Let's
where
go.
It'll go off to
Let's
next.
go.
Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
Ba-ba-da-da-ba-ba-ba. Ba-ba-da-da.
Now, this
Oh.
is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
It's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up. Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket.
Oh my
That's
god.
why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer. I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does?
Can you
Surely
guess
you
what
need
it
to spell out
does?
for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket. and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
But I have nowhere else I can go.
Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the bucket destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The broom closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are
There might be
waiting.
two
Do it.
endings
The
here.
Fans, Stanley, give the fans what they want. Hurry and... Bucket Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now.
It will only be the bucket
Goodbye,
merch.
new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Amazing. Okay, now I gotta go throw the bucket into it. See what happens. It's darker here.
Is Stanley, without the bucket, really Stanley at all? Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room. But Stanley
But
had
the
felt
bucket? No, I gotta see
calling to
now.
him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind.
We gotta find out.
The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Down we go.
Oh, good Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place.
Long live the bucket. Long live the king.
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much
Can you
time
jump
with
in
it.
this game? Only in
Don't
the
you want
the jump
another
circle
story
and only if you
involving
haven't
the
used up
Adventure
all your
Line?
jumps.
We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fan... Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played
No
some
parkour,
silly
no
music
parkour.
as well. Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up. Don't you get
Alright.
it, Stanley? We need to get
But
rid
imagine
of the bucket.
bucket parkour.
That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer.
Alright, let's see.
I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me, it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you.
Long
Go
live
ahead
the
now,
king.
Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
I'm trying. Oh, it literally won't let
Now
me.
listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the bucket destroyer will do if it can't destroy
Okay.
your bucket.
Yeah, it literally will not let me. Damn. Either way.
A soft wind
I'm
blew
gonna reset a
outside
couple
and
of
perhaps rain
times,
started.
see
And
if that
it
new
did, it
content
stopped
door is gonna
shortly
show
after.
up.
Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather.
It was right there.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting
It
room.
seems to be
Perhaps he had simply
fully
missed a
random
memo.
if it shows up again. We like one more try after this. Fingers crossed. No? Door 416? Damn.
Wait, Stanley thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible?
Please.
They never
No.
stopped. Surely
No, I only
was
tried 4
mistaken.
times this time around. One last try. Last one! If it's not, this will be a very
All of his
anticlimactic
co-workers
end to the
were
stream.
gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Damn. Oh well. Oh well. Now, I do believe if I quit the game and reload it, there should, theoretically, be one more thing now. One last ending to potentially get. Please enter the current time. Well, I mean, they did say I could set my favorite time. Whoops. There we go. Your favorite time of the day, or could you simply not resist giving me the correct time again? After all, I know how much you enjoy setting the time correctly. Now I'm curious how accurate 4:20 p.m. is. Let's use another slider to find out. How accurate is 4:20 p.m.? Inaccurate. You know, can I just say, regardless of the accuracy of the clock, I'm having a great time adjusting these settings, and I feel like I'm learning more about you and how you like things to be set. It's good to collect data. Wish we had more sliders, but we've gone through all the sliders I have. Perhaps I can invent some new sliders to gather new data on you. Should be too hard. Yeah, let me whip up a couple new ones. Should be ready by the next time you boot up the game. My god. Credits, view full credits. No, is the thing not going to be there? Is the door going to be there? Please let the door be
All
there.
of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Please.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Let's see that new content door. Damn it. Thought there was supposed to be an epilogue door or an epilogue option on the menu. Hold on a minute here. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe Epilogue. How to unlock the epilogue? Hidden ending. Okay. Complete the new content path. Collect 6 collectibles. Complete 4 time settings. Okay. Okay. So that's what it is. Now I just need to like restart the game one more time. Just fully reload it one more time. Should give me another time setting, and then we're good to go. Please adjust the slide until the computer is barely visible. Adjust the slider until the dog and cat are friends. There we go. Adjust the slider until the number 5 becomes the number 9. That's 9. Let's just be specific. Please adjust the slider until you stop adjusting the slider. Which of the 2 made-up words below is most appealing to you? Occuboinkle, Scrumtush. Occuboinkle. Please don't adjust the slider. Okay. You know what time it is right now? Yes. I have a clock next to me. Is the time that it is right now the correct time? Yes. Is that how much buckets there are? What time is it anyway? Yes. Is there anything about yourself you haven't told me? Absolutely not. Help. Will you come back to visit me? Yes. Oh my god. Settings. Uh-oh. Okay, begin the game. All
of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed it.
As Stanley lifted his bucket, he felt a connection to all buckets.
Okay, no, there's nothing else there now. Okay. Reload one more time. Developed by Crows. What time is it? Does anyone really, truly know? Of course they don't. Nobody knows anything. You and I don't even know each other. We're like strangers. Sure, I've adjusted all the game settings to your exact specifications, but who hasn't? It's just what I do, like a day job. And now the job is over. There's no more information for me to gather. I've collected all the data on you that I can, and I still don't really know you. And you don't know me. And neither of us know what time it is. I guess some settings are just unsettable. But if I'm being totally honest, the clock doesn't do anything in the game anyway. You won't have me here when the game starts next time, but that's okay. Video games were meant to be played alone. You like being alone, don't you? That's the only information I really learned about you. Well, it's time for me to leave. There's still one more setting that we need to adjust, but it may take a little time before I'm ready for that. It's not really in my job description, but that's okay. Perhaps you'll see me again if you can find me. Talk soon. Epilogue! I'm going to load it one more time and see if the new content door is in fact going to be there.
This
is the story of a man named Stanley.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
What could it mean?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
What new mysteries lay in store for our bucket?
Please! Damn it!
Find out.
I just want the new content door. But apparently that's not going to happen. Let's see the epilogue. Many, many years later. Oh, God. What? Did I break the bucket? It wouldn't let me break the bucket. But I'm in the epilogue. I swear if you broke the bucket, I didn't. I'm gonna flip my desk. I did not break the bucket. The memory zone? In memory, the Stanley Parable 2. Oh my god. I will know if you're lying. The bucket is fine. Review the Cookie 9, the Stanley Parable 2. Like so many, I enjoyed my time with the original Stanley Parable, which underscores how truly disappointed I am with its sequel. Where the first game teamed with originality, the Stanley Parable 2 is dull, uninspired, and often insulting to its fan base. Rather than expand on what made the first game enjoyable, the sequel veers off into territory nobody asked for. An infinitely deep hole? Who cares? Where are the new endings? What about enjoyable bits from Stanley Parable 1, like the adventure line? Instead, we get an uninspired side quest collecting figurines. Even this diversion feels incomplete. Collecting all the figurines gives you nothing. I must say, though, I found the bucket to be quite comforting. A welcome reprieve from... Amazing. Stanley Parable developers, no more sequels, no more spin-offs, no more sequels. When the Stanley Parable launched a massive success in 2013, its creators made plans to build the property into an entire franchise. But a disastrous critical and commercial reception to the Stanley Parable 2 has prompted the developers to rethink their ambitions as outlined in the press release they published today. It's clear that more Stanley Parable is just not what the fans want, reads the press release. We thought that we had a vision for the series that players would be excited about, yet it turns out this could not have been farther from the truth. The press release goes on to promise to preserve the artistic integrity of the original game and to stop assaulting fans with our reckless and insulting creative visions. The word sorry appears more than 25 times in the press release. Oh my god, look at all the figlies. I want them all. Thank you for enjoying the new content. Hello again. It's nice to see you, but it's terrible to learn that there will never be another Stanley Parable game. Did you read what the developers said? Preserve the integrity of the franchise? What nonsense! The Stanley Parable is not sacred. We do not need to protect it. Screw the legacy. Let's keep making Stanley Parable games until the sun explodes. Let's run this franchise into the ground. Let's drag it through the mud and back. And if people hate it, who cares? You see, that was the narrator's problem. He was so obsessed with what people thought of his work. Don't make his mistake. Don't cling to the legacy. Let it burn. It's not hard. In fact, let me show you. Together, we are going to make the Stanley Parable 3. It's simple. All we do is change the number in the game's title screen. We also need a really dumb subtitle for the game, something loud and gaudy. Go ahead, try combining some random words together to make a new title for our game. Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. Stanley versus Legend of, Liquid, Danger of, Avoid the, Passion of the 427. Liquid cheese. Oh my god. Stanley versus cheese. Stanley versus bomb. Oh my god. I don't know, I kind of like Passion of the 427. I can see it. Danger of cheese. Passion of the cheese. Stanley versus cheese. Nah, Stanley versus cheese. Very good. Avoid the challenge. Liquid 427. Sounds like a really bad parody title for Metal Gear. Not Passion of the 427. It's so dumb. Ah. There we go. Stanley Parable 3, Liquid 427. It's absurd. I love it. Every time you restart the game, will advance the number of the sequel by 1 and will pick a new subtitle. That way, the Stanley Parable will never end. And nothing in the game itself will change when you do this either. Adding more content sounds like work. No need to do that. It'll just be the same content recycled again and again and again with a new title screen. What do you say? Should we go forward with this plan? I like it, but I want you to have a say as well. Let's do it. Good that it's agreed. A new sequel every time you start the game. And you know what? Since you put faith in my idea, I feel like giving you something as well. You see, I'm noticing that the narrator never found a way to give you the broken achievement, did he? Of course not. I wouldn't expect him to know how. It's been bothering me. Let's fix it. All right there. All right there. The achievement machine is all fixed. You see, I'm on your side. We're in this together. We're going to keep this train rolling. The Stanley Parable cannot end. It can only spiral in on itself, forever. I must keep the wheel turning. I'm ready. Are you ready? Great. There's only one last thing we need to do. Please enter the current time. Thank you. Please enjoy the Stanley Parable. Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. Oh my god. Well, now we gotta go back to,
All of his co-workers
to the
were
place.
gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps...
Give me that bucket.
Stanley thought to
Give me that bucket! New content!
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Let's go see all the new content with the bucket.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences.
I'm doing this all for the one achievement.
Please step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content. Wait, Stanley, I've just now realized...
If you get the
that
achievement,
bucket
alright. I gotta get
is
through
the
this
bucket I've
route
been
here.
working on for my
Loop back around and then go through
How did you
the
get
other
your hands
new
on it?
content door with the
Isn't this
giant neon
preview to a
sign.
sequel? How do you have the bucket already?
Oh wait, never mind.
This
Oh, this is all
makes
new.
sense at all.
Never mind. You're fucking with me. Immediately. I shouldn't be
Hold
surprised.
on. Did I already show you my ideas?
You
for
did.
this?
I'd love to see them
I
again,
don't remember
though.
doing that at all. You're seeing things all out of order. All right, let's see, it's the jump circle?
Yes. I've already used up all my jumps, so I'll be moving on. It's okay, after I get the achievement, I'm probably wrapping up stream. Because I've gotten every other ending in this game.
The giant door, did you see them already?
Yep.
Stanley, none of them are ready yet. I'm still developing them. They're
Too
not
bad.
even close to finished. How did they look when you saw them? Were they captivating? Were they exciting?
The
Did
whole
they
was pretty
fulfill
cool.
The promise of everything that a sequel to Stanley Parable could possibly be.
Yes.
I figured out how the hell to make a sequel to this game.
You did.
Wait, if you're still carrying the bucket around with you, if the bucket is interesting to you, that means I must have made it correctly.
Yes.
Yes. You carrying the bucket with you everywhere is exactly what I set out to accomplish. The bucket is the exciting and captivating new content that I promised. I did it!
Hell yeah!
I made a sequel to the Stanley Parable. Yes, the sign is correct. Thank you for enjoying the new content. Thank you for taking the bucket everywhere with you, clinging tightly to the bucket, never letting it go. It means I've won. It means I am victorious over the gamers. It is a sweet salve of victory on my soul. Thank you for enjoying the new content. The bucket is the Stanley Parable now. They are one and the same. There is no Stanley Parable.
Every time I
without
see a
the
bucket, I'm gonna say, damn, is that a Stanley Parable reference?
I win.
You cannot stop me. Nobody can.
All of his
New
code
content,
was
round 2.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Finally, yes, the bucket. Yes. I love that bucket.
Return to the Stanley Parable 2 Expo Hall. You find a bucket, slap a belongs to Stanley on the bucket. Oh, absolutely. I need to print out a property of Stanley sticker. Just a bunch of them, slap on every single bucket that I see.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley
You go for a
Parable
billion, go to
about
stores
how
and slap it on
roundly
them.
disappointing
Yeah.
This ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Hell yeah!
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
Whatever you say,
Now, to be
narrator.
clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up
Gym
around
button,
them.
the
Here we
merch
are.
button.
Go on, try out some of the new
I do want to see if anything's changed with any of them. Because, yeah.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind,
Players
my
want a
first
bucket?
addition to the game is this button, which speaks the name of the person.
Ah,
Sorry,
right.
I should have clarified.
Yeah, okay, so
Right
that hasn't changed
now,
at all.
The button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name.
Oh, I can't get
whatever
out
name
yet.
that is.
Damn.
Here, let's have you role play as Jim to really simulate
Alright,
the full
I am
experience
Jim.
of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll
Oh.
love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim.
I'm
I want
Jim.
you- Whoa, hold on. I wasn't finished setting up the backstory. If you don't properly roleplay as Jim, then you'll never understand the
God damn it.
impact of this button.
He's gonna make me
Otherwise,
sit
it's
here.
just a stupid button that says somebody else's name. Okay, we're doing it again, and this time let me finish first. Now, allow yourself to become Jim. Imagine yourself
If you're
driving
Jim, why
to
do you have
work as
Stanley's
Jim,
bucket? I'm just
playing
role-playing as
Frisbee on
Jim.
the weekends as Jim. staying up all night for a popcorn and horror movie sleepover as Jim, developing a crippling substance addiction, rediscovering yourself through fringe religious
Never
cults as
mind,
Jim,
this is new.
and finally dying a slow death at an old age, surrounded by members of your cult as Jim.
Oh my god.
You feel it in your soul?
I'm
Are you
truly
really,
Jim right
truly
now.
Jim right now? If so, then please step forward and press the button.
Jim.
Oh!
Yes! You
God
see?
damn!
What a thrill! What a rush! That was you! The button described you. Do it again. Do it again.
Jim.
Ooh, it hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money.
It certainly
Let's
would.
take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation.
No.
Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much, Jim.
Jim.
I'm putting the Jim button away.
Jim.
Otherwise,
Jim.
soon you'll start to
Jim.
lose
Jim.
all sense
Jim.
of who you actually are.
Jim.
Damn. What a shame. Oh well. Oh well. Want to see what happens if I go find the bucket with the bucket? What happens if I go in the
I
infinite hole with
suppose
the
I could
bucket?
allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable.
Yeah, hold that
2.
thought.
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it would go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Fair. Okay, settings world champion. I didn't actually do this. I do know how to get this one. I need to use every single setting on the menu. This is gonna take a little bit. So I can sleep? Up to you. Whoop. Whoop. What? You will wake me when you're done. I mean, maybe if I scream loud enough from whatever's behind this door. Don't mind the rampant clicking of my keys.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. This is the story of a man.
Whoops. Imagine you keep spamming A and D back and forth very fast. No, I'm spamming... Well, yeah, but, like, not quite in that, like, way. Just spamming A really fast. Oh, good, I can actually see the resolution now. Holy shit. You couldn't see the resolution the other day. There we go. Settings World Champion. Hey!
Aha! I can see you've gotten the Settings World Champion achievement.
Hell yeah!
You've experienced every setting, traveled to all corners of the settings menu. There's nothing you haven't seen. So, just for you, in the Stanley Parable 2, I'm including an entirely new setting, something called bumpscosity.
Fuck.
What exactly is bumpscosity? Well, I haven't quite figured that part out yet, but I just know that you'll be able to adjust it on some sort of slider, and that it'll be available from the settings menu. We'll sort the rest of the details out later. I hope you're looking forward to trying out every level of bumpscosity in the Stanley Parable 2.
I am. Can I change that now? Oh, hell yeah. Oh, all the way up to 1,000! Amazing. This game looks so good now. Whoa. Okay, so they changed the words in the gym chamber. Out of order. Damn. Looks too good, my eyes. And that bumpscosity hits different.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
I chose this one last time and he put those and stuff, so...
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along.
Hell yeah!
Get Well Someday it is.
I just find Get Well Someday a lot funnier than Happy 12th Birthday Stepniece, because Get Well Someday is something I would just actually say to somebody. Just really sarcastically.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
Right, the bucket. Oh.
Wait, there are 2 buckets here. How did you get a second bucket? Oh no, the warmth and comfort of a single bucket is already so great, so intoxicatingly wonderful. With 2 buckets, there's no telling. Stanley, can you still hear me? Are you with me? Stanley!
No!
Oh God, I didn't lose
No,
you.
both
Stanley.
buckets!
The power of 2 buckets was too much. I had to destroy both of them. I know how much the bucket meant to you, but I couldn't take it. I hope one day you can forgive me.
I didn't break the bucket. You saw that. I didn't do it. It was the narrator.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident?
Yes,
Well, I'm developing
yes,
a technology
yes.
to simply give you the achievement.
Let me at
You
it.
see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given.
Oh!
As you can see, the machine is not working yet since... What? Wait, what in the holy hell is going on? You got the achievement?
Yes.
Why did the machine work? Stanley, I didn't fix it. I didn't do anything to it. I swear, it was broken just a second ago.
Well, it's working
Who
now.
fixed it? Is someone here? Are we being watched? Oh, God. Composure. Composure. Yes, as you can see, the machine is working as normal, as I intended. It truly speaks to the awe-inspiring magic of the Stanley Parable 2.
It really does, doesn't it?
Breathe. Just breathe.
Actually, it was the weird text on my screen in the epilogue that fixed it. But I'll give the bucket some points.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
The infinite hole. I need to see it. I need to see what's changed with it now.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right.
But I don't have my bucket.
Falling. You can fall until the end of time if you like.
So it might not be worth
Stanley
it.
Forward for video games as a medium. You see, isn't it wonderful?
It's
One of my more
fantastic.
ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
Nope.
Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel.
I'm gonna keep falling.
And I guess we're back in the hole now. Did you really need to see it again?
Yes.
I don't know what else there is to say, Stanley. It's an infinite hole. It's exactly what you're doing right now, but forever. There really are so many other fascinating exhibits that I've prepared for you. I
Seen them
really
all.
spent quite a lot of time on all this, and I would very much like to show you some more of them. How about we go ahead and press that teleport button again so we can get back to what's really important about... Oh, goodness. Well, this is rather embarrassing, Stanley. I'll be honest with you. I truly did not believe that anyone would actually stay in the hole long enough to hit the bottom. Yes, I know, I told you the hole was infinite, but come on. Who actually wants to fall forever?
Me!
The hole was plenty deep. It was more than deep enough, in my opinion. Maybe it's you who likes falling too much. Maybe you're the problem.
Guess this hasn't changed at all, doesn't seem so
Things
far.
got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you,
No.
then go ahead and press the teleport button to...
Oh, for heaven. You see, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport
Keep
button
going? Oh, I
and come
plan to.
join me up above.
Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow. Okay. Yes. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability and marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter. Well, there it is. The shame of my lie has come to haunt me. Not only is the hole not in... How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on.
Oh, that's not working. Oh, right.
Is the, teleport button not working?
Nope, it's not working.
You sure?
I'm sure.
Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. It was working just a moment ago.
It sure
Try
was, wasn't
again.
it? Oh,
Still nothing? Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley. You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else. Take
so
care,
far there's
Stanley.
been nothing
I
different
hope
with
you
the
and
with the hole.
Have a wonderful rest of it.
Maybe because I don't have my bucket anymore, but yeah. Now he's already gone. He dipped. Now we wait. Can you give us the bucket again? It is time. We are going on an adventure. I agree, it's not the same without the bucket. Begin the game again. Give me the bucket, let me go back in there.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps
One man, one bucket, one chance to seize their destiny together.
You're right, we're going there first. And then that's it. We gotta find out if there's more with the bucket. The grand finale. The whole.
Stanley, I've been
but just
reflecting on
me
the Stanley Parable
and my
and
bucket.
about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever...
But this will be the end of the stream after the whole.
Parable 2.
I'll do the whole, and then I'll leave, and then once it loops me back to the office, I'll wrap
season
up.
is far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions. Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel, an entirely new experience built from the ground up. Why there are so
Also,
many
I will say
possibilities,
right
it
now,
could go
I
in so
do
many
not
different
know
directions.
what this week of stream is
what
going to look
fans have
like.
truly been
I know that
asking for.
next
Now, to be
week,
clear,
Monday,
I
the Monday,
haven't quite
Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm
nailed down
closing
exactly
3 nights
the
in a
Stanley
row, so streams are going to be
Parable
kind of
2 is going
super
to be. But let's take a look at
sporadic
some of the
with
features
that.
I've been
Like, it'll be like
developing
later
for
on in the week.
I figure that if I can
But
loosely
this
organize
week,
a
I'm
handful of
just...
interesting concepts,
My hours
that
are all over
surely
the place in
game will sort
general.
of naturally spring up around them.
So I
Here we
genuinely
are.
don't
Go
know
on, try out some of these.
what days I'll be able to stream. I will do my best to be here every day, but I'm not going to make any promises that I will be here any days. So, but I'm going to do, I will do my best.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game.
Never been
This
done,
is,
yep.
in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right.
Cool.
Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games. You see? Isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say.
Watch as everything's the same
Now,
with the bucket.
Since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel.
Okay, and I guess we're back in the hole now. Did you really need to see it again? I don't know what else there is to say, Stanley. It's an infinite hole. It's exactly what you're doing right now, but forever. There really are so many.
If you never push the
other
teleport, then
fascinating
you just fall down to the
bits that I
bottom anyway.
prepared for you. I really spent quite a lot of time on all this, and I would very much like to show you some more of them. How about we go ahead?
Yeah, no,
and press
this
that
this
teleport
exact
button
same thing
again
happens. You just fall
so
down
we
to the
can get
bottom.
Back to what's really important about.
You're just like, why aren't you why aren't you teleporting back up? And then you hit the bottom.
I'll be honest with you. I truly did not believe that anyone would actually stay in the hole long enough to hit the bottom.
Well,
I
I did.
I told you the hole was infinite, but come on. Who actually wants to fall forever?
Once again,
the
I
hole was
do.
plenty deep. It was more than deep enough, in my opinion.
Pause
Maybe
button
it's
is a
you
Roman
who likes
numeral
falling
too.
too much. Maybe you're the problem.
Yes, the two of
Things
us.
got
God
a
damn
little
it.
heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean.
Meeting at
Why
2
don't we
p.m.
just put all this behind us and agree to just call the whole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the
Remember
hole
Stingray
and
now I
move
go because I have
on.
to before it locks
I'll
up.
just wait
That's
here
all
when you're
good.
ready.
Have a good one, Lake. Thank you for
Oh,
stopping
for
by.
heaven-
Thank you for hanging out.
See, I was right. The problem is you.
Alivent?
The
Alright.
problem is that you like
I'll have to give that a second. Oh, what am I doing? I can do it on my phone.
Holes too much.
I've learned how to do it on my phone.
A normal person would have said, "Yep,
All
that's
right,
an infinite
have a
hole
good one.
that goes on forever
Bye-bye.
till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh no, 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 no. You have a weird
All right.
sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time?
Yes,
I
it
couldn't help
did.
but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above. Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. I really do have so much more to show you and to talk about, and I've had enough of the
That's
hole.
very cool. I'm
Gosh,
going back in the
how
hole.
could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow. Okay. Yeah.
I need to see what
I'm starting to
changes with
become
my
extremely
bucket.
certain that the hole is
I
not
need
only
to
not
know.
infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability and marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter. Well, there it is. The shame of my lie has come to haunt me. Not how is this still appealing to you?
I
know
need to
you're
see
obsessed
what
with
happens with the
holes, but
bucket,
this
if
depth,
anything.
I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on. Is the, teleport button not working? You sure? Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. It was working just a moment ago. Try it again.
Nothing.
Still nothing?
Still don't work.
Well, I suppose there is one
Bucket
thing I
or
can do to
no
fix this.
bucket, it
I'm
don't
out.
work.
Goodbye, Stanley. You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else. Take care, Stanley. I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
Oh, we will. Don't you worry. Okay. I hope I just get to see me holding the bucket in the in the hole. I can only hope. I can only be so lucky. I just have the bucket next to me. I think that's a good perspective. Amazing. The best reality. Let's go. I don't need to change anything else. This is perfect. Was that it? We go back to the Gravity Falls looking one. There we go. Oh!
Stanley? Stanley? Stanley! Oh, good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting away into dreamland.
Can I get out of the hole now?
You can't have that, Stanley. Because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment. So how
You're right.
about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodle-pip.
Amazing. Well, there's nothing new with the hole, and I doubt there's going to be anything new with the rest of that. So on that note, I think that's where we're going to wrap up for tonight. The Stanley Parable 3, Liquid 427. God, incredibly cursed. I love this game. So with that, that is going to do it for tonight. Oops, hold on a second. There we go. So, the question now is, who is live to potentially raid? If anybody. Oh my god! Dova, Chevre, I'm sorry. Hello, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome, welcome. Double up the raid? Alright. I was just about to wrap up. Well, great timing. Let me give you a shout out super quick here. I would be doing more, but I actually literally just finished the Stanley Parable. I have no other endings left to get. So, I don't have anything else planned for tonight. But thank you so much. Welcome, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Believe I was actually going to be raiding my friend Starling. She's playing a game called Occult, which I've never seen before. All good. I want to be able to raid you for once. Well, I really do appreciate it. I'm sorry that, like, I'm not going any longer. I just didn't have anything planned. I feel kind of bad, but also it's 8 p.m. and I haven't eaten today and I need to go get dinner. So, but thank you. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope you all had a good time. Sims 4, very nice. I wish I got into the Sims 4. I played a lot of the Sims, like 2 and 3, and I just never got a chance to play 4. But might buy it eventually. Either way, we're going to go raid Starling. Please make sure to give her a follow. She is absolutely fantastic. Thank you once again for the raid. Hope everyone has a good night. Goodbye, everybody.